guys talked about it a little bit yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The Josh Hubbard thing. He has struggled as of late. And I understand that he's still scoring in double-digit points or double-digit points per game. The leading scorer on the team, it's 16.5 points. But, I mean, you've got to go back to the 8th of December. No, that's not right. He had a really good game against South Carolina. He was 7 of 13 against South Carolina. Mm-hmm. But against Prairie View on December 8th, he hit 8 of 16 shots and shot 50%. Since then, he's gone 3 of 9 against McNeese, 4 of 15 against Central Michigan, 5 of 12 against Memphis. That's a number you can live with. That's 42%, and he hit 3 threes. Mm-hmm. 4 of 15 against Bethune-Cookman, 7 of 13 against South Carolina. So that's a big game. Shoots 54% from the field and hits 5 threes on 10 attempts. That's volume, but at 50%, hey, you're good with it. 3 of 9 against Vandy, 5 of 16 against Kentucky, 2 of 12 against Auburn, 2 of 13 against Ole Miss, 5 of 16 against Tennessee. And I know you're asking a lot, but you got to have more than that from Josh Hubbard. And look, we are clouded by how good that freshman season was last year. His shooting numbers are almost identical. Last year as a freshman for the season, he shot 38.5%. This year he's at 38.8%. From 3 last year, he shot 35.5%. He's at 35.6%. I mean, the numbers are almost identical. I mean, for his career, he is a 5 of 13 from the field and 3 of 8 from 3 player. Consistently.
That is a completed season, though. He's got 13 more SEC games to go, and that's where the struggle really has been, is inefficiency in SEC play. And, I mean, I don't know. Hey, Dad, you're there. You see it in person. I've wondered lately if there's the book is out, may not be the right phrase, but Ole Miss defended him really well. And I don't think State did a good enough job of trying to get him open looks, even with Kugelback. But part of me wonders if there is an inability to create your own open looks, and so they either need to reduce the volume of shots or do a better job at manufacturing clean looks, because from my vantage point, he's not getting them on his own. And that's okay. There's Klay Thompson doesn't get wide open looks on his own. They manufacture those for him, right? Mm-hmm. He's a good shooter, and so they do things to get him open looks.
Right.
Can't State do a better job of either getting him open looks or reducing the volume if he can't get them on his own?
Well, one of the problems State has is you don't have a point guard that can help him do that. You know, State is making Hubbard play the 1, and that's not his natural position. And so you're asking this guy you want him to get open looks, but the guy who you're asking him to create them for himself.
Yeah.
And that's not really Josh Hubbard's game. State should be, I feel like, it should be him trying to run through screens and trying to get open. Instead, he's at the top of the circle trying to run the offense. And, when State doesn't have Hubbard doing that, it's Cam Matthews or it's Riley Kugel. Neither one of those guys is a point guard. So, the loss of Kanye Clary has been big for Mississippi State. State could really use a true point guard to help Hubbard get through this a little bit. Because the comment I keep making is they're asking Hubbard to run the offense, and they're trying to run the offense through Hubbard. And he's just not a point guard. So I think that's part of the reason he's been struggling.
And you know what, hey, Dad, the Cam Matthews thing, like, I still, when I look at him, like, he's 6'7", 235. Now, we've had big point guards before. Some of the best point guards I've ever played have been big point guards. Magic Johnson was a big point guard. Mm-hmm. LeBron kind of plays the point. He kind of plays every position on the floor. Big guy.
Definitely facilitator.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, LeBron's been a big assist guy for his entire career. He really has. I think Cam Matthews is doing an adequate job. I mean, he's a good enough ball handler. He's not turning it over like crazy or anything like that. I just think you can, like, if you had, to your point, if you had Clary in the lineup, I think there's more than you can get out of Cam Matthews when he's not having to play the point.
Well, the problem with Matthews is very simple, is that he can't make jump shots. And so teams, when they defend him, they know that. So they're willing to, to let him have his space out there on the perimeter. And then when he tries to drive, that's when they'll collapse in on him. So he's got a flaw too. And that's what State's missing right now, is just a complete point guard that they had with Clary. Clary was a guy who could drive and could create, but he could also hit jump shots. He could knock down three-pointers. And so that's missing from Mississippi State a little bit.
Yeah.
How do they fix it?
If Clary doesn't come back, they just can't. You can't make a trade. So they just have to. The good news for State is that they're still locked in to the NCAA tournament, and they're still going to be, if they win the games they're supposed to win, they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed, and none of this will matter at the end of the year. It just looks bad right this second. But if they beat South Carolina, and then next week they probably go 1-1 again, right? I think they probably lose to Alabama. Bama is a team that has given Jans fits, but I think they can beat Missouri. So at that point, you're 5-5. I think you're okay. I think you're okay, but you just keep going forward, and if you finish with 10 wins in the SEC, you're going to be a high seed in the NCAA tournament.
I mean, the magic number still for them is 8 too, right? So I know that the aspirations are higher than just sneaking in, but they're 3-3. They need 5 more. They need 5 more somewhere. They can get to 5 even with this weird offensive dynamic.
Agreed. Completely agreed.
Easily can get to 5.
I feel like we're